Awesome. Well, welcome back to Build Mastermind, everybody. We had last week off for Independence Day for July 4th in the US, which was great. Hopefully everybody is surviving the heat. I know there's heat waves all over the country right now. We are really excited to be back, and especially excited to have Corey and Jessica here on Build Mastermind. They have been absolutely crushing. It's been really, really awesome to watch over this last 6 months to a year almost, as you guys have really implemented more smaller, intimate, local community type events in different areas. And so I really just wanted them to come on and kind of share some bullet points, share their kind of framework. And then, of course, Ed and his team does an awesome job with events. So kind of have a conversation that flows through that. But Corey and Jessica, welcome to Build. And I'm excited that you guys are sharing today. If you guys kind of want to kick off and tell us a little bit about your business, and then what the heck are you guys doing in this community
Yeah, for
event
sure.
space?
So yeah, I mean, what we started Williams Ave, just a couple years
Two
ago.
years ago in May.
Yep.
Crazy
So
time to start a new team.
yep, switch brokerages, start a new team, start from the ground up and build from there. But it's been fantastic. We'll do it all over again. And yeah, just kind of excited to walk through a lot of our strategies as far as like boots on the ground, how we get involved with our community and our clients. And I think, the biggest thing I can just say just to start with is when it comes to giving back to your community and client events and everything, you've got to be 100% authentic and come from a place of truly giving back. Because if you don't, it's going to be a complete waste of your time and everyone's going to see right through it. So I do want to definitely start with that, and just make sure it's a part of, who you are and your brand and what you're trying to build. So yeah, do you want to run through a couple things we've done so far?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of starting from scratch and trying to figure out, okay, how do we afford to do some of this when we're first starting out as a brand new team, but also, a lot of people have experienced not the best years the last couple. So how do you continue to afford to do these things to get your name out there and really hit both pieces to where you're not breaking the bank in the process? And what we found is, I mean, I think that we're lucky, but I think there's opportunity in any community to really piggyback off of a lot of things that are already going on in your community, holidays that are already coming up that you can easily just tap into. And so that was a big piece for us, was just figuring out, okay, where can we plug in where we're not having to, recreate the wheel totally. And so we've got kind of two different buckets that we focus bigly on events with. And one is with our VIPs. So past clients, sphere, anybody that we know would either refer people to us or would use us to buy and sell. And we started a Facebook group for those people a couple years ago and just started adding everybody in. And this is open for our team members to invite people into as well. Family, friends, you name it. As long as we know that they would use us, they are a VIP. And so we have a Facebook group where we communicate all of our events, giveaways that we want to do for that group. And then community events are completely separate from that. We're also inviting VIPs, but that's kind of a separate bucket as well. So you guys kind of let us know how you want us to dive in. We can kind of run through the events that we do, cost.
Yeah. I love number one, like the Facebook event, or the Facebook group. Let's talk a little bit about that real quick. Like what do you post in there? How often are you posting in there to get any sort of engagement? Because what I found personally is like Facebook groups are really tough to keep up on, right? Like it's very loud, it's very noisy in the world right now. So how do you guys kind of keep people engaged? Is that kind of the medium with which you're sharing a lot of the event stuff and getting hyped up for the events? So tell us a little bit about the Facebook group.
Yeah, so the Facebook group, we actually don't post a ton in there because I do feel like so much gets lost in the weeds. Like I log into Facebook and I have 30 notifications at any given point in time. So I'm skipping through those, figuring out what's important and skipping the rest. So when we post in there, we try and make it really intentional. And it's usually surrounding an event or a giveaway. Otherwise, we don't interact a ton in there.
Okay.
So we keep it pretty focused on, hey, we're hosting this event. We'd love to see you. We try and start promoting events at least a month in advance to 3 weeks. And then there's several more posts leading up to that, reminding, hey, I didn't see that you RSVP'd yet. We'd love to see everybody, obviously using the everyone tag when we can. but we're also personally and having our agents send physical invites to their people in addition. So taking whatever graphic we've created for the event, not just hoping Facebook's going to do it for us, but physically sending a text, hey, I'd love to see you at this, that personal invite. And then a reminder ahead of time. So they're getting a lot of touches, but we're not solely focusing on Facebook, or I guess hoping that it's going to do the trick.
Yeah, and
love it.
Yeah, in the Facebook group, there's obviously the invite and the communication on that. And then there's always the invite, the remind, and then the thank. So it gives you, that's, 4 potential touches, 3 direct touches to your clients, without having to come up with, hey, just call them to check in. Like, you're not asking for anything whenever you are making these phone calls or you're doing these invites. It's just a strictly, hey, we're doing this. Would love to see you. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Let us know if you can make it or not. So it's pretty quick and easy to reach out.
I don't like trying to think of reasons to call and say, like, there's nothing worse than that phone call of, oh shoot, I haven't talked to this person in 4 months and I need to give them a call, but I need to have
I have
something.
nothing to say. Yeah, you're trying to come up with something to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So how many events? Yeah, let's walk through the events that you do, and then I also want to get into the giveaways also later.
Yeah. So the events that we do, strictly for our VIPs and clients, this was the first time we did this one. We did an I Love You a Latte event in February, which we co-host a lot of these with our lenders, which is a huge cost savings as well. But they're also reaching into a different pool. So any of these events, I'll kind of give you our total cost, but keep in mind, a lot of times that's split in half. So we did this I Love You a Latte event. We invited all of our clients, family, friends. We probably had 30 to 40 people show up. Like, we're not talking huge events, but it was nice to be able to chat with people. We bought coffee. Like, that's it. It ended up costing us $200 by the end of it. So cheap event, but we got everybody out to one spot. We're able to visit for a couple hours, and it was just a nice, easy one to do. After that, Easter is kind of a partner one. We host a big Easter egg hunt with an HOA locally, so we invite our VIPs to that. Mother's Day and Father's Day, we always try and do some type of giveaway or event. We did just our last VIP event was a cruise, and we hosted everybody in the office for tacos and margaritas. Our community does a classic car cruise the first Friday of every month. The street turns into just masses of people and tons of fun cars, everything from your super cool old classic cars to there was a Cybertruck towing a classic car this time.
Of course there was. Yeah.
And we provided tacos and margaritas, and it was a great event. I think we had probably 30-ish or so people pop up. We did it the day after the 4th. That probably wasn't the best planning on our part. A lot of people were out of town, but
it was nice for the people that were still here, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Next month, we're going to do a Rainiers baseball game. So they're the minor league team in our area. And that event will cost us, $750 to have 50 people out to a ball game and feed them, which is great. We do a pumpkin patch event every year. So we set up a booth at our local pumpkin patch. We invite all of our VIP clients, pay for their entry, give them a goodie bag with a carving kit and some fun stuff. But we also do, and I'll talk about this, I guess, with more community events, but some engagement pieces to get people that were already coming to the pumpkin patch kind of pulled into what we're doing. We do a pie giveaway, and then we host Santa in our office every year, and do photos for VIPs, but we turn that into a community event as well. So I counted up, and I mean, between pop buys, giveaways, and events, we've got 12 touches in there a year where we are posting something in that VIP group, inviting our people or offering to give them something, and that's worked out really well.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And you're staying really fiscally responsible. It sounds like through a lot of them, right? Like it's only a couple $100 for touching 30 people. Like that's a great touch. Yeah.
Yeah. And then some of the bigger ones, like the Easter egg hunts, the pumpkin patch, like some of the bigger ones where it's more community, like more of a community platform, not just, smaller and intimate from a sphere perspective. We will do we'll put up our tent that has our logo and everything on it, but we'll do like a spin to win wheel for the kids. They spin, like all the kids love to spin the wheel and get like a free little bag of toys or candy or whatever the case may be. So we'll do engagement that way. And then we also have like an enter to win on a bigger piece. Whether it's like an Amazon gift card. We just did one for the beer walk, which basically the whole downtown kind of turns into each business is like a pouring station to try all these different beers. So we did a giveaway for Father's Day for a Blackstone. And so on the enter to win form, obviously is a name, a phone number, an email. And then, a couple of questions if they need help, refinancing, or if they're planning on making a move in the future, or whatever the case may be. So that way we're collecting hundreds of additional
just the beer
people.
walk alone, we probably got 200 new contacts into our database and 5 to 10 solid leads that will do something with real estate in the future. So those type of events, if anytime you can kind of piggyback off of those are fantastic as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the giveaways. Like what kind of things are you giving away? What are the entries like? How are you announcing the winners? Tell us about that and how that engagement
The
works.
first really big one that we did this year was for Mother's Day. And we did this in our VIP group, but also on our community Facebook pages. And what we did was we partnered with a local flower farm here in town. She also has Highland cows on her property and she's a photographer. So we bought flowers and photos, which I mean, for moms, that was kind of a no-brainer. We ended up doing 45 bouquets that we went and hand delivered to all of our clients. So our VIPs all got their bouquets, but then we also raffled off 5 bouquets on the community page, along with 4 photo sessions. And people were essentially just tagging if they wanted to essentially nominate themselves or nominate another mom to win these photo sessions. And it was the first time I had done a cross entry on Facebook and Instagram, where we also were hoping to get more followers. So we said, okay, hey, to enter to win, you need to like this post, you need to share it, and you need to tag 3 other people on it. That was minorly time consuming just to keep track of, but we wound up with about 150 entries. And then we just put them into one of the spinner things online and announced them that way. We always do some kind of video when we announce winners. It's just another fun piece to follow up with engagement on, especially with the community pages. But that was a huge one, and people get so excited about that kind of stuff. And I think in total that event, I wrote it down, cost us, so for 45 bouquets, 4 photo sessions, we spent $1,600 and split that with our lender. So it cost us $800.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then we've got people posting their mom and me photos with the cows, and it's just more exposure.
Yeah. And we also showed up to their photo session as well. So we were there to greet them and, show face and interact with them at their photo session and, say thank you and interact with them that way as well.
Love it. Love it. That's awesome.
We did the same thing for Father's Day. So we gave away the Blackstone to the community. And then we also gave away a Blackstone in our VIP group. Same type of thing as far as interaction there. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. So what is another, like when you guys are getting, like you said, you had like 150 names that you guys added to the database, what kind of like follow-up cadence, like how are you guys kind of keeping those people engaged now that you've gotten like these, once you're generating some new contacts from those people, how do you know that there's 5 people of that 150 that are going to be doing something, and what is your cadence to follow up with them?
So with these entry forms, they've indicated if they have questions about real estate, either buying, selling, or refinancing. So those we kind of set aside, and those are the people that we're going to personally reach out, give a call, have a conversation with, and then they're going to get put on some type of follow-up system from there based off of how that conversation goes. Everybody else that indicates, no, I don't need anything, that's fine. I'm still going to put you in my database, and you're going to get my newsletter every month that's got some market information in it. We always include different community events in that, and that gets a lot of engagement along with invites to our other events. So anytime we're doing like this Easter egg hunt or having Santa photos or any type of community event that we're inviting anybody to, they're also getting invites to those since they've already participated in an event. So we're not bugging them a ton with necessarily real estate focused stuff, just trying to provide value in other ways.
Love it. Ed, I know you guys do something kind of similar with the Facebook group and like local kind of community events. What are yours, and how do yours kind of compare to what Jess and Corey are doing?
Well, I tell you what, guys, number one, you're doing a great job. No wonder why the place down the block shut down, because I
Yeah.
guarantee you they weren't doing this.
They weren't.
Uh, Here's the thing. So a couple different things. I love the VIP group. We did that a couple years ago. Uh, there was a while we did really awesome on it. Then there was a while we didn't, and now we're back to trying to do awesome. So anything you start, it takes time, and it takes consistency. It's marketing, and the number one thing for marketing is consistency. So you guys are doing a great job there. We do the same thing. We give a big trip away at the end of the year, and this is kind of a funny story. Everybody in our VIP, and you've got to be somebody that truly in our VIP that's going to refer us. We got to believe it 100%. We got to see action from you at least every couple of years. And so we know most of these people, they're great people. We give a $5,000 trip to Jamaica or somewhere, and people go nuts over it. Well, let me tell you what, when your client posts that on their own personal Facebook page that, God, the Strouds gave us this trip, and because we're VIPs and that we help them look for people, well, all of a sudden then the MREC gets involved because somebody wrote a complaint against us saying they're giving free trips away. So be careful is all I'm saying. But you know what? I tell you, the little giveaways are awesome. So anytime you can do a little giveaway, and especially if something that's useful, something that gets people excited, that's probably the hardest part, is finding those items, right? We do a lot of that as well. We do a separate group with teachers, just so you know. Ashley does that and does a great job. She's always giving us stuff away for teachers. One year she gave away 5 massages one day. She took them to the school, walked them in, and surprised the teacher on the spot. She called me back and said, I want to give 5 more away. And I went,
You're
so
always reining her in.
yeah, well, it's, you know, somebody's got to, my gosh. But in all reality, guys, I think anything that you do event wise, you should do consistently, and you should, you know, people should see it consistently. So your events, I love your Mother and Father's Day event. We do the tequilas and tacos. We call them reverse pop buys, by the way. And I know you said something about pop buys. Our leadership team decided to call them reverse pop buys. Pop buys are when you go out to meet people. We want them to come meet us. So that's just something our team came up with. And I haven't heard the end of it. They like to tell me that all the time. So, but it's fun when you can get people to you, and we schedule them out. So we use Calendly, and we go through, and they say, hey, I'm coming. I'm going to come to your 2 o'clock session. I'm going to come to your 2:30 session. And the reason we do that, because the most important thing, as you guys all know, is the conversation you're going to have. It has nothing to do with the tacos. It has nothing to do with the pizza, the pie. It's all about the conversation. And, you know, Eric Hatch says it. I know Mike has said this before. It's the at-bats you get now that you didn't have yesterday, right? And I think that is a big, big piece. I don't know if I answered your question very well, Rachel, but I just get on my own thing.
Well, I mean, to be honest, so I mean, we've done just a couple of big client events over the years, you know, throughout the years. And we have a local top producer mastermind that Jess and Corey are a part of. And they were talking about this in the mastermind last month. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm so inspired by what you guys are doing, just these more local, smaller events. Because we started doing VIP events, and they're so much better. Like when you only have 30 or 40 people, you can actually talk to them and get FaceTime with them and connect with them on a real personal level. And so, you know, we as a team on our team, to be frank, we haven't done an excellent job of executing smaller local events. And I wanted this is completely selfish, guys. I wanted the inspiration from you guys to be able to kick off and start doing some of this stuff on our team. So really just a conversation about it. Jim, are you guys doing any sort of community or smaller client events right now?
So I got some great ideas listening here. I mean, we started getting back into some of like a larger event every year. We do the pie giveaway, which has gone well. Doing a lot of the same stuff you're doing. I like what was it you did? I took a bunch of notes. I love you a latte because I love coffee, and just like I think what I got from what you guys are doing is instead of having this, like, got to plan this crazy event, like just stay in touch with maybe a smaller group of people, and you guys being okay with only having 30 or 40 people. Where, you know, we had a big one at a brewery, and it ended up being a pretty big event, expensive, but and it was one of the best ones we ever had. But like, it's a lot more planning than, you know, hey, come meet me for coffee.
Mhm.
I think we do have a VIP group, which I don't think have done a great. We have, like, I think 380 people in it. We haven't done an incredible job with it. We've done an okay job, I think, with all of kind of what Rachel said, like with all of it. So we've just gotten back into these events, and I think I think we had 100 and something people at our 150 people or so at our last client event, which was, you
That's a
know,
big event.
which a lot of it was, you know, Christy putting a lot of systems in place that we didn't have. Really get it set up so we're constantly reminding people. But a lot of it is also us that personal touch, that personal phone call, text, talking to some of our top people to
Mhm.
actually, hey, like, I hope this, almost like what you can do with your team members too, is like, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at this event. I'm looking forward to seeing you, hoping you can make it there. And one of the best things we get from it is I end up getting calls and texts all day that day, like, oh, I couldn't make it, but now I'm in conversation with that person
Yeah.
that maybe I didn't talk to.
Yeah.
And what a good mindset shift, Jim, as like seeing the conversation that you're having with people, even if they don't make it, as a positive, as opposed to being frustrated that they didn't come to the event. Like, that's a really important mindset shift for sure.
I think that there's a big push, like there's a lot of chest thumping that happens when you get like 500 people at an event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that that's really the goal when you look at this. The goal is to stay in conversation and proximity with your people, and that's what you're talking about, guys. Is you're starting these conversations, and you're starting them from a place of bringing value to that person and not just asking them for something. And that's really the key here. I totally agree with Corey and Jess that, you know, the smaller events have led to the much deeper relationships and conversations.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. As far as like the community events go, most of them were able to piggyback off of something that somebody else is already doing. And I forgot to mention this earlier, we've turned both our well, I guess the Easter egg hunt we wound up turning into a food drive as well for the community that we hosted in, because we decided to do a big food drive this last Thanksgiving. And it literally cost us nothing. We got all the bags donated from QFC, but we went and physically dropped off 600 QFC bags in the neighborhood that we're working on farming, a week before Thanksgiving, with a flyer that said, hey, we're trying to bless our local food bank. You don't have to do anything but fill the bag, put it back on your porch, and we'll come pick it up. And people were so excited about that. I don't know why it is so hard to drive 5 minutes down the road to drop something off at the food bank, but we wound up with almost 2,000 pounds of donations, and the food bank said,
Wow.
hey, another huge need of ours is around Easter. So we host the Easter egg hunt in that same community, did a food drive again leading up to the Easter egg hunt, and people remembered, like, they were supposed to bring it with them to the Easter egg hunt, and we had several that we had to go around and find bags afterwards because they were like, well, last time you came and got it. And that's what, like, after just twice, they're remembering, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do here. And even if it's just getting your name out there that way, it was a huge blessing in the community. And honestly, that was probably one of the most fun things that we've done all year outside of hosting events, was going around with our kids and picking up all of these donations to take to the food bank.
Yeah.
We would legit drive around the entire neighborhood with the back open on the Escalade, blasting Christmas, making a huge deal out of it, sending the kids out to the porches to grab the bag and bring it back and load it in the car. And I mean, it was
Tons
awesome.
of fun.
Yeah.
Creating some classic core memories for the kids too, guys.
Yeah.
I think they got to skip school that day too. So
They
that
did.
was big.
Oh yeah. Epic. That's so awesome. That's awesome.
But all
Dave,
of these events between, I was just going to get the 12 VIP events and then the 7 community events that we do every year. I totaled it up and we spend like $10,000. So split with our lender, all of these touches are probably costing us between $5,000 and $6,000, and that's it.
That's an incredible lead acquisition cost. Let me tell you, like that's a fantastic cost. That's awesome, guys. Dave, tell me about this lemonade day.
Yeah, I love what y'all said about leveraging. other events because you really don't have to create them. So there's a organization called lemonadeday.org, and it's a system, an app that teaches kids, 3rd through 5th graders, how to run a business and what to do with the money, how to track inventory. So a local chamber that I belong to, the Schaumburg Business Association, this massive chamber, they encourage business owners to do Lemonade Day all on this same day. So the chamber totally had 60 stands. I was one of them. And as you see in the picture there, like, it was for only 3 hours. It was in front of the agency, and we raised $599 in 3 hours, and everything was donated. So the purpose of it was to provide leadership to the kids, but it was really a community event because I put up flyers and all the local businesses, sent out some emails, but instead of doing like mass emails, it was more like personalized introductions like you all share with us. That's best to do. And it was just great how everybody came together, not only to donate the time, the lemonade, the decorations, the canopy, the table. I mean, I didn't have any of these things, right? But all the people that really showed up from the local community, whether they were clients or future clients or just members of the Arlington Heights community, it was just a beautiful scenario. And now, as you said also, Corey, like, it's about the follow-up, right? Because we invited them, then they showed up, and now it's the follow-up to say, hey, this is what you contributed to. This is where all the money is going to charity, because all the revenue is going to charity and local nonprofits. And it just was it really was a beautiful experience.
That's awesome, Dave. How cool.
That's super cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I immediately looked up lemonadestand.org, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Very cool.
Thank you.
Well, is anybody else in this call? Does anybody have any questions for Corey and Jess, or have any event ideas? Like, I'm on our team, like, my wheels are spinning for sure. Like, I want to get more people on my team involved in kind of some sort of an events committee capacity, as opposed to me and Mike and the leadership team kind of trying to drive everything. I know, Destiny, I'm seeing your face on here, like, hello, like, let's get something going here soon. But like, what other events are people doing? Like, what, because I think you guys have done such a great job, Corey and Jess, of like tapping into your local community. Like, what events are happening in your local community, and for each of us to not have to recreate the wheel and reinvent something that's happening and try to create something completely opposite. Like, instead, fall into the flow of what's going on in your community, right? Like, that it's going to be way easier for everybody to kind of fall into that flow. So what kind of events, is anybody else doing, or anything that they have kind of had an aha moment that they could tap into?
I've got 2 things, if I could share.
Yes, Sam. Hi.
We did, and this is our 3rd year now. We have done at Elite Air, which is a trampoline park locally. We've held an event. I've rented out the entire facility for 2 hours, and the parents absolutely love it. So the first time we did it, that was literally all it was. We opened up the concession stand so everybody can get whatever they wanted for free. That was great, but the concession stand food isn't really that good. So I talked to them for the next year and was able to bring in our own pizza, bring in our own desserts. I had giveaways, and the giveaways that I'm getting are so I like to do community events throughout the year. And when I do community events and I let's just say it's a coffee shop that I'm giving a shout out to, a lot of times they'll donate something to me and I'll keep a hold of it until I do an event. And then I figure out a way to give it away and also give another shout out to that business, which, so they're getting 2 different shout outs from me helping them. And of course they're helping me too. So there's that. The kids absolutely love going to Elite Air every year. They look forward to it. Every single year I'm getting emails from the parents. Are we still doing it next year? My kids won't quit talking about it. So that's been a huge hit. That cost me, and I don't ask for lenders or anybody to help sponsor, and I probably should. So I'm definitely taking that away. But that was a little over $2,000. But that was renting out the entire facility. That was food, drinks, snacks. It was all of that. And it's so worth it. The other thing, I don't have any kids, and I'm super passionate about animals, like obsessed. So I'm getting ready to start a nonprofit called For Pet's Sake. And what this nonprofit is going to do is we are going to go out and all those dogs that are left out in 100-degree weather, no shade, no water, we're going to help take care of those babies. Like once a week, we're going to show up to these homes. So anyway, that's a whole big ordeal, but I'm mixing it into real estate because around Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving, the Real Broker agents locally are going to host a potluck for all the other real estate agents locally, as well as all of our affiliates. And they're going to come enjoy. I already have all of these decorations for a Christmas tree. I bought a huge, beautiful Christmas tree from Walmart last year, after Christmas on sale. So anyway, I'm going to tell everybody when they come to this potluck, if they bring wrapping paper or gift tags, something like that, then they get entered into the drawing to win this Christmas tree. Well, so they're going to bring all this stuff. We need that wrapping paper because in December this year, we're going to have a gift wrapping event that's going to raise money for Pet's Sake. And it'll be at my office and the public will bring in their stuff. We're going to have volunteers set up to wrap all their Christmas gifts, tell them when to come back and get it later that evening. And anyway, we're also going to have little small businesses, like little entrepreneurs, like people who are making candles, making jewelry, things like that, where people can stop in, drop off their gifts to be wrapped. And then they might go, oh, actually, I'm going to go visit this table because I could pick up one more gift and have it wrapped.
Love it.
So anyway, that's a few things that we're doing.
Those are big.
Sam, I wish I was one of your clients. I want you to wrap all my presents.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Hey,
awesome.
Rachel, we've talked about in the past, I've shared this with some of you, but I'll share it again because I think it's important. So we actually set all our events up prior year. So we have a magnet that we give out during our final walkthrough that has all of our events already there on a magnet. So they already know for next year, save these dates. This is the time we want you to come. And then at walkthrough, we do that. Yep. I love it. I love it, Sam. Yeah. So, and then we also mail out those magnets to all our past clients that we didn't do the walkthrough that current year. So just FYI, anything you can do, I think, to save that date and to set them up to, hey, we want you to come to these. We've got better attendance because of that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Because Sam's on that organization train too. Love it.
Very well planned.
Yeah. Well, I think that you guys have done a really good job of kind of pivoting too. Like, you've kind of taken what's actually worked in the last couple of years. And that's something we talked about in the Top Producer Mastermind is like, big events aren't really a thing. Like a lot of people don't want to go to a big, huge event anymore. Right. Unless it's like, again, piggybacking off of like an Aquafest or a Sea Fair or something that's like, huge, local, regional kind of event. And so doing the smaller ones, like it's paying off, more and more for you guys for sure. So,
well, ask Jim. Just ask Jim right now. I mean, you had how many people at your last event? It was a lot, is what I heard.
Yeah, it was a good amount.
Did you get to talk to them all? Did you get quality time with each and every one of them?
The way the event was set up, it was probably good. But I will tell you, if we had more people, we would. So we started getting worried when people started showing up and how many were. We're like, wait, this is going to be too much.
Right.
So again, that's why I had that event with 150 people. It was great. We'd probably do it again, but I definitely think squeezing in some less crazy planning, a little bit more fun, smaller events where it's just bringing some people together sounds like a much better idea.
I think you'll get more quality time with them is all I'm saying.
I agree.
To talk with somebody we used to do the movie event, right? Rent the movie theaters out. Here they come. There's a big long line. Hey, how you been? How you doing? Thank you. Hey, good to see you. Hey.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that sucked.
Like a
yeah.
Basically,
like 3 seconds of FaceTime.
Yeah. And I mean, they were all appreciative and they, but it's not sitting down for 10 minutes with somebody or 15 and then going, gosh, great to see you. I'm going to go grab these people. It does make a difference.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And I would say too, just for anyone that hasn't really dove into this, it's super easy to get started. Because I mean, you can just go to Google and look up like national days for stuff. So like National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day or National Coffee Day, or, you know, something super, super easy like that. And you can just go and love on your clients and, you know, give them a $5 gift card to a local coffee stand, or, you know, something like that, just to, again, show face and say hi. It doesn't need to be big or extravagant, you know, start small. Something is for sure better than nothing. And then you know, you kind of just evolve from there, and even like creating your own event. Like the, you know, one we just started doing, it was the first time we did it this year, is Jess had a great idea of just giving out ice cream to the kids on the last day of school. Like, you know, we pulled up to the local bus stop in the, you know, in the neighborhood that we farm. We advertised it into the entire community and opened up the trunk of the car and played a remix ice cream song the entire time, and just bought that ice cream sandwiches and popsicles, and it was fantastic. So
Bucks. And
People are gonna be like, "Oh, there's the people with the Escalade and the loud music again."
yeah.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And I've heard other people talk about this, where don't do the same thing everybody else is doing. Everybody's giving pies on Thanksgiving. Don't
Yeah.
do that. Do something else, like ice
I
cream
did
day or
try to
whatever.
get rid of the pies last year and just do the food drive. And we had so many, well, like agents on our team, they were like, wait, we're not giving pies. And so many clients that were so excited about pies. I'm like, shoot, we have to do the pies.
It's already tradition. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's too late to go back.
But those
I love
off times, those off days where nobody else is celebrating and you guys do that, I think that makes you stand out a little more for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
And
what is
along-
the?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Sam. Nope. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, along with that, we used to do Christmas cards, and we quit doing Christmas cards because everybody gets so many Christmas cards, and I don't think they really pay as much attention to them.
Mhm.
So we now send out, "We're so thankful for you," right before Thanksgiving. So it's still the same amount of cards, we just send them at Thanksgiving instead of Christmas.
Yeah, I love it. We also pivoted, and we do a January like calendar, you know, with our information, and then just like a magnet calendar for their fridge. And then there are so many people that, you know, once you've built a relationship with them, and you've got, you know, this past history with these people, and now you're following each other on Facebook, and you're watching these people like build a family in these homes that you sold them years ago. It's like they also were really interested in what's going on in your life. And so Mike and I have made it we've done it every year, I think 3 or 4 years now, where we literally will write two times a year, basically like an update newsletter. Like, this is what we did personally, and these are our kids' ages, and we went on this trip together, and this is what we're doing in our business right now. And people are like, "Oh my God, I got your letter. I'm so excited for you." Like, it's like it's okay to mix business and personal. To your point, Corey, it's like it creates this level of authenticity that people are like, yeah, they're just people too, that they just happen to specialize in doing real estate, right? So
I love it.
yeah, I think that's been a really, really cool thing for us too. Dave, what's up?
Speaking of like gifts, I think you brought up a good point, not doing the sort of event that everybody else does, so you stand out, and everybody's getting Christmas cards. I love that idea of the thank you card. So just a little along the lines with gifts, like this is a super cool book a friend of mine wrote, John Rulin's, called Giftology. And he talks about, he's a Cutco guy, so he's in the leadership and the Cutco thing, but it really just gives you like strategies and ways to separate yourself from others, and how everybody's giving what I would call like the default gift, like the easy gift at the easy time that everybody always thinks of, and you don't really have to think about it. It's like, this is a little bit more of like a creative way to do things, but I love that you said Thanksgiving. I mean, spring's a great time to do those. And yeah, Ed, you know about the book. Yeah. So I think it's just getting resourceful, right? Like we're all talking here, how to be more resourceful and how to be different and stand out from the rest.
Absolutely. I love it. Corey and Jess, if you were to deduce down like what this has done for your guys' business, what this has done for your relationships with your clients and the community, how would you deduce that down? Like, what benefits have you seen from kind of pivoting your business this way?
Man, I mean, I would say, I mean, a huge thing is just brand recognition in the community. You know, and it I guess kind of similar to what you mentioned, allows people to see, you know, who you are. You get to interact with people you never would have originally interacted with. and it has nothing to do with real estate. You know, most of the time, there, you know, obviously there's going to be conversations that pop up, and those will flow naturally. But you know, the biggest thing is just getting involved with the community, giving back, and just talking with people and getting to know them on a personal level that you never ever otherwise would have had that opportunity to do that.
Well, these things are a lot of work, but we just started Williams Ave 2 years ago. So we're brand new. Nobody knew who we were, where we came from, any of that. And so I couldn't think of a better way to start getting people to recognize our brand and be top of mind than doing these kind of events. I mean, sure, we could postcard a neighborhood every 2 weeks, but like that's not the same. And it takes so long to get return on stuff like that. I'd much rather just be out forming relationships with people. So I think having started a brand new business, it's just given us a really big jump start on connecting with people we wouldn't have been able to otherwise. And as far as our clients go, like they just now, they know to expect these events. They get excited about them. And it's just, again, opportunities to connect with them that we wouldn't have had otherwise, to just have that happen organically.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you guys are definitely setting the standard for the area and for people that I know. So keep inspiring, keep doing a really fantastic job, you guys. Honestly, like I'm super inspired by you. So if I start copying, I know you guys took our brokers and brews. I may take your I love you a latte. We'll see. Right? Yeah. So
and
awesome.
I'm happy to put together a list, or, you know, if anybody wants a list of everything that we're doing.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
So please copy it, implement it.
If you guys are in the Agent Growth Hub group, we repost the replays of these videos. So if that's in there, if you can post it in that group, that would be awesome. That'd be a huge help. So we'll tag you guys in that video. Cool. Thank you guys so much. This is awesome. Anybody who's new into the industry, new in the business, these are absolutely key takeaways of how to build relationships and start getting your name out there for sure. So awesome job, guys. Keep it up. And everybody, we'll see you next week. See you later. Have a great day. Balloons.
Oh, that's fun.